Hello, my peeps. Hello, my peeps. What up, what up, what up? It's a new week, a new episode of Chit Chat with Bernie Bella. It is Thursday. This is episode 29. I'm your host, Bernadine. Again, welcome to episode 29 of Chit Chat with Bernie Bella. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Drop a comment, say hello, share the live. Thanks for tuning in. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. We stream live every Thursdays at 9 p.m. on both Facebook and YouTube. Previous episodes can be found on the YouTube channel, Chit Chat with Bernie Bella. So visit the site, like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications to get notified when we go live. So for those who are new and have never tuned in before, this is a talk show where we discuss sports, politics, current affairs, a little bit of entertainment gossip, a little bit of news, a little bit of what's happening in our community and around the world at large. Your thoughts and opinions are always welcome, so feel free to make a comment on any topic that we're discussing or any news item that we're coming out with. Feel free to always chime in. So we're going to start as usual with our artist preview of the night, and a couple of the albums and videos that are out this week. There's one Sean Paul featuring Sia. The song is called Dynamite. It is a very nice song, very catchy, good radio play. It's played on the radio for a few times so far. Can dance to it. It can go from radio to dancehall to, if you're chill and whatever, you can sit and listen to it. So a song is supposed to get enough radio play. The other video that premiered this year is by a singer by the name of Boma, B-O-M-M-A. Song's called Judgment. Good, clean lyrics. It's talking about trusting people, who you can't trust and who will sell you out and stuff. So it's a nice radio song. It can play on the radio and stuff like that. Skilly Bang has a new one out as well called Piano. It's kind of a Beethoven medley, so it's a different mix for Skilly Bang so far. It's good music and everything. This is a little bit out of what he normally does. And also congrats to him because he's a new father. So big up to Skilly Bang on the birth of his son. Yes. Massacre's got a new dancehall song out. Good catchy lyrics, good vibes. Girl, them a go wind down to that song. I like the song. Nice. Radio play will have to be a clean version for them to play it on the radio, but dancehall and for streaming, excellent song. And Gage also has another song out featuring Common Stone. It's called Bright Like Day. It's talking about the haters, them, and how to deal with them and all of that. I'm not quite sure about the video concept of it. Some of the lyrics isn't that great. But other than streaming, I'm not quite sure where it's going to be played. So, it's one of those songs that will probably grow on people. All right, so check out all the videos on YouTube, and video links are in the description box on my YouTube channel. So just going to circle around on the to the Jamaica entertainment scene this week, and it has been very, very spicy again this week. Like things are going with it. So we're gonna start with Jacure and Secretary Alcock. Jacure's government name has been ordered to spend an additional 83 days in detention in Amsterdam. That means that he went up for hearing on Monday, and he was ordered to spend more time in jail. So far he's been in jail now, or in detention, for 3.5 weeks. He can receive visitors, according to the spokesperson. They also said that the total period for pre-trial cannot exceed 110 days. So court proceedings must begin within this period. And he's also been provided with a public defender to represent him. Okay. Chicago entertainer Ricardo Gale, popularly known as Chicago, was freed of an assault occasioning bodily harm charge when he appeared before the Manchester Parish Court on Wednesday. The entertainer was arrested and charged on Sunday, September 1st, after his wife, Francine Gale, filed a report of physical abuse against him. The reports are that after Chicago's wife voiced her disapproval at the way the entertainer was beating their son, he then turned on her and used a dumbbell to hit her in the forehead, causing a wound. Court records outline that Gale had attempted to intervene in Chicago's disciplinary treatment of their son when the incident escalated and the singer used a dumbbell. He rebuked bloggers and commentators who had posted salacious comments about the incident. According to Chicago, it's a come one like Chicago just come and see him wife asleep and tie her up and beat her. Every man and them woman fight. And 99% of the time, and them wicked girl here are the problem. Me and my woman fight, and if she come back, we will fight again. The next time she don't fight me, when me sick, he said, revealing that he had been recovering from COVID-19 at the time of the incident. Following his arrest and charge, the entertainer was granted station bail. It is reported that the wife has left the marriage and has returned to overseas. Chicago also said confidently that he knew his wife will return to him. So, according to him, she not left gone away. She just take a break. Hey, Cherise, thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. So we're going to circle to Massachusetts. We're still, and he's probably right, Cherise said. That's true. I mean, this by how him said it, and he was quite confident in, in his statement. Yeah, she not going to leave him. So, former New England Patriots safety Patrick Chung was arrested Monday in Massachusetts on charges of domestic violence and vandalism. TMZ reported prosecutors formally charged Chung on Tuesday, and he's due back in court for an arraignment. No details on the allegations were made available, but Chung's official charge is assault and battery on a family or household member, which indicates someone who lives in the home. The woman who represented herself also obtained a civil restraining order against Chung at the time of the hearing. Chung was released on $10,000 personal surety. His next court hearing is scheduled for January 7th. Chung was previously charged with possession of cocaine in 2019, but pleaded to avoid jail time. It's unclear if this arrest is a violation of the plea agreement. Chung spent 10 of his 11 NFL seasons with the Patriots before retiring earlier this year. He also spent 1 season with the Philadelphia Eagles. Chung is the son of Sophia George and Ronald Chung. Sophia George sang the song called You're Too Girly Girly, so that's why he's in my entertainment section. Hey, Lindsay, how are you? Thanks for checking in. Hey, Carlene, how are you? So, me don't know what going in the water down at Buju Banton house. Me don't know what going in the water when pitting them a drink. Me don't know what going in the weed when daughter smoke. But this week, them were very, very festive. So, as a follow-up, a couple of weeks ago, it was stated that she was missing, and then she came out and said she wasn't missing. And then her brother, came out and said it was a lie, she wasn't missing and all of that kind of stuff, because he's, they're in touch daily. Okay. So now that brother that came out and defended her, she and him put on big fight. I say big fight, I mean big fist fight. So if you can see the pictures clearly, it show our tour mashup. She broke a nail, and you know when you fight and broke a nail, something a big fight go on. She had scratches on her neck. He had scratches on his face. Car glass mash up, our hand scratch up, all of them. Something that this has all been, within this past week. She'll call him out, I call him, PU guy. She has said him mentally challenged and him bipolar and him artistic and all that. Like, these are all stuff that she put out on her IG posting and on Twitter. She also called her father a sperm donor. She has said the whole family a fight against her and want to kill her and all of them something. The brother then went live and said that she needs help. Him basically I say that growing up, their mother tell them not to smoke because they have family members who smoke, and the smoking affect them where them go off mentally. So basically, the mother tell them say they not smoke, and them smoke, them all get mad. So that's how them grew up with that thinking. Him say whenever she smoke, that is when she just turn against everybody in the family, and she just start going on something. So the reason why them fight was the mother is away for a while, left them with the housekeeper. Now these are adult kids, all of them over 20-year-old. Left them in the care of the housekeeper. Apparently after my girl smoke and she get in her head, she spoke to the housekeeper disrespectfully. My man Jazeel defended the housekeeper. One argument led to the next to where them end up in a fist fight and all of them something there, so it basically I said on IG live that people not encourage her when she posts these things on social media. People shouldn't like them, people shouldn't comment on them, because it then encourages her to do more stuff. Like him says she need help, she need to go get some psychiatric help and all of that stuff. So I don't know all that's going on, but whatever it is, they need to sort it out. It's not looking good on the family. The father no come out, say none at all. The mother no put out no statement, say nothing at all. I just right now, I just them 2 year. Go back and forth. The other sister that's in politics hasn't said anything, and then the other brother, the producer, he hasn't said anything at all. It's just them two now that get into a big fist fight, and on IG live and everything else. So hopefully them can squash it peacefully going forward, or them can come to some agreement, or she can, if according to them she needs help, hopefully she can find the help that she needs, because it's not a good look. So still in the entertainment section, and going to Japan on this, because Japanese Princess Mako quietly married a commoner without traditional wedding celebrations on Wednesday, and said that their marriage, which was delayed 3 years and opposed by a lot, was a necessary choice to live while cherishing our hearts. The couple's marriage document was submitted by a palace official on Tuesday morning and made official. There was no wedding banquet or other marriage ritual. So what that means is she is no longer a princess, because she chose to marry what's considered a commoner. She is no longer a princess. So she's no longer your royal highness. She gave up her rights to the throne in order to marry, what they claim to be a commoner. So congrats to her. If she finds love and that's who she chooses to marry, more power to her. She gave up millions of dollars. the Japanese Princess Mako, she married a commoner earlier this week, so that means she's from the imperial family in Japan, and that means she gave up her rights to the imperial throne in Japan, and she's not making any claims to that. She gave up millions of dollars and stuff. She will no longer be living in the palace, all of that stuff. So she's going to be moving to New York to start a new life with her commoner husband. So she's now become a commoner. So basically she's now one of us. So more power to her. And on a sad note, Snoop Dogg lost his mother, Beverly Tate, earlier this week or on the weekend. She had been sick for a couple of months. He had been putting out on social media for, people to pray for her and stuff like that. So she succumbed to her illness over the weekend. So rest in peace to her and condolences to the family as well. So let me see. Hello, Carleen. Princess Lindsay said no behavior. Hey, Colleen, how are you? You're supposed to be in Jamaica now for your dad's funeral. Oh, hey, you're so dead here tonight and funeral tomorrow. So, my heart is with you. My body is in Canada, but my heart is with you in Jamaica. And, strength and prayers and blessings for you for the funeral tomorrow. Hey, Marcel, how are you? Hope all is well. Thanks for checking in. So, and I think Charmaine is down in Jamaica as well. Her dad's funeral, if it's not tomorrow, it's Saturday. So, yeah, both of you are down there for, funeral stuff. So, we're going to go on to the sports section, and starting with the Raptors. They played Indiana last night and won handily. It was a good game last night, very good game. So Siakam is not back playing with the team as yet. He's practicing, however. They'll be playing Indiana tomorrow. Their play has been improving over the last couple of games. The rookies are really, really doing good. They need to do a little better job of scoring under the basket, because for some reason, the closer they are to the basket, they don't make those shots. I don't know what's happening with them. So their record right now is 2-3. TFC, they played Philadelphia yesterday. They draw that game 2-2. They'll be playing Atlanta on Saturday. So right now they're just playing out the season because they've been mathematically eliminated from advancing to the playoffs. So they just want to get to the end of the season and go fishing or golfing or whatever it is that they do on their off season. The Argos played the Alouettes last Friday. They lost 37-16. They'll be playing the BC Lions on Saturday. Argos are now second in their East Division. Maple Leafs, they've not been playing very well. So they played the Chicago Blackhawks on Wednesday. They won that game in overtime. That particular game stopped their 4-game losing streak. Their next game is on Saturday against the Red Wings, and they're currently 4th in the Atlantic Division. So, Maple Leafs they didn't start the season very well. Neither did the Raptors, but the Raptors players were rounding into form. So it should be quite interesting to see, if they pick up better plays over the next couple of weeks. And if Siakam returns, then that should be good. So I am going to start with the news that has been creating havoc in Jamaica all this week. As a matter of fact, from last week, from the police Bosse Cult Church last week, Kevin Smith a trend. The fact that he was in a car accident this week, the fact that they said he died, even though some people are claiming that he didn't die, he's alive. Some people are saying would arise 3 days after. Right now, I don't see nobody who come tell me say today would have been the 3rd day if he resurrect. I don't see nobody come tell me say resurrect. So for anybody who know, say he resurrected from the dead, please to let me know. Send me pictures and videos. But for right now, the story is he's dead. But the different things that are coming out of what he used to do before the car accident is just unbelievable. There's also, so just, to touch also that 26-year-old Constable Orlando Irons, one of the policemen that was escorting him to Kingston to face charges, also passed away. And then the two other police officers that were seriously injured in the accident as well, they're still in the hospital. So like I said, so many things, so many stories are coming out, like the videos and the interviews and the like. So we'll start. So he was born in Glengough, St. Catherine, and migrated to Canada in 1993, 3 months after he started Jamaica College. He was actually convicted on one count of assault and served 6 months in prison while he was in Canada, and was given probation for up to 10 years. That's his Canadian story. And I've spoken to people who knew him when he was living in Scarborough and when he was preaching, and why he was kicked out of the church that he was in because of his, we'll say, peccadilly and what he was doing with members of the same sex, younger members of the same sex. All right. So apparently, previously, 70 people were asked to pay $100,000 for entry to the Ark. The Ark is the church compound, the house that is there that they go to worship. That is considered the Ark. So 70 people paid $100,000 to go to the Ark, to get admission to the Ark, to sleep on the concrete floor where they barely had enough to eat. So apparently one of the persons who was on the first boarding of the Ark stated that it ended badly because there wasn't them, all them didn't get a dumpling and a mackerel gravy and all of them something. They have to sleep on the floor, and so it didn't go good. So that was the first time it didn't go good. And apparently he said part of the reason why it didn't go good too was because that the money that was given to the pastor was not then given back to the people who came on the Ark. So it wasn't given back to them to be for, he didn't treat them well by spending money back on them. All right. That's one part of it. Okay. Now, there was a young man that they interviewed, and the young man said that they were required to give the pastor their first paycheck of the year. So in a January, when everybody get them first paycheck, and the pastor man get that paycheck there. Right? When you get a new job, your very, very first paycheck, and the pastor man supposed to get that paycheck. Right? December 31st, when the year are done, him take up collection for the year-end collection. Okay, you go to church December. And then January 1st, again, you're supposed to then bless him and bless the new year with more money being contributed to him. So everything this man did was all about money. Everything that he spoke about was money. Now, the reason, a couple of the people that they interviewed, that they said the reason why they even believe him more was that he predicted that there would be something major and dramatic coming to the world. And lo and behold, when COVID came, that was their confirmation that this man knew what he was talking about. So they gave him more money. One guy said that he wasn't working and he didn't have money to give or whatever, but he helped around the ark and all of that stuff. Then he got a job. So when he got a job, his first paycheck was either 20 or 30,000, and him go to the pastor for give. Now imagine you not have no job. That means that you not make the money, and your first paycheck you get, instead of you say, okay, let me carry it home, go look after my family, you take it care, go get the pastor. Well, the pastor rejected the payment at that time and told him that, if we come back at a later date, pay off some of my bills them or whatever. The young man said that when he got to the point where within a couple of months he was making $300,000. I don't remember if it was a week or $300,000 a month. No, when he got to that part and he then took 30,000 to give to the pastor said, no, $100,000 I want. And him want $100,000 out of every pay what the boy get. So imagine you are going to earn your good money. And you figure the pastor a third or a quarter of your money for no reason at all, just because. And the guy say him give the pastor money. Every time him get paid, him give the pastor the money. Until him look into it and him say no, him not supposed to give the pastor the money. Like that. So him stop. But then him say when him stop, him conscience that they are bad him, and then COVID lick. And he said, remember say the pastor had mentioned that something major was coming and COVID hit, so the pastor must know what I'm talking about. So he started to give the pastor back the $100,000 out of every paycheck. And he said that when the year ends, so say 2019 ended. And we go church watch night. So on watch night when you go church 2019 instead of the pastor church 2019, your contribution on that night should be $219, $319, $419, all the way up to $2019 US dollars. Remember, these people are in Jamaica and they're being told that that's what they need to contribute. And then when 2020 starts, your contribution for January 1st, 2020 would be $220 up to $2,020 Jamaican dollars. Now remember, December 31st, you're giving that donation to close out 2019, and then January 1st, you're now required to give donation to start the year. And for people who, I don't know how he chooses them, but there are some people that he chooses to go take out loans. So there's people who have taken out $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 loans to give to him. And for those who didn't get any, the guy said he was very angry and said that they were disobedient because they were doing what he asked them to do and all of that, and told them that they would be suffering if they did not provide him with the money. And he also told a few of them to stop everything that they were doing, to leave leave their work and all that. And the guy said a lot of people left their work, some lost their jobs. So I don't understand. Oh, and I'm not even say like some of the people are my idiot people. Like these are supposedly intelligent people who have good jobs and allow this man to con them out of their money. Some of them out of them insurance policies, some of them out of their houses, out of other things because, you know, and then on the other hand to lower up them kids to the man in a pool and a young boy a whole umbrella over him head in a pool and all of them something. That thing's crazy. That crazy. So all the kids that were at the compound that night when the police raided, they are still in government housing. They have not been returned to their parents or anything like that. And the other guy that was charged with him, Andre Ruddock, so that particular person has been charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of wounded with intent. So he's a gentleman down on the bottom left of the pictures. That's Andre Ruddock. He's been charged with 1 count of murder and something. So one of the pictures show the reverend on the stretcher and then, you know, the something. But never know said, I think the thing that makes it that much so intriguing in Jamaica is that people didn't think it could happen there. That I'm thinking that's one of the reasons why, because it was trending on Twitter for a couple of days. So yeah, and then there was a news that came out that his body was missing from the funeral parlor. So the funeral parlor put out a statement and a picture of a toe with the name tag on it stating that the body is still there. It wasn't missing or anything of that nature. They also had to send out voice note and messages and also to put out to people to stop calling the funeral home to confirm if he's there or not. So this thing, the man drive the people crazy while he was alive and also in death. Him drive them crazy because there are people who refuse to acknowledge that he's dead. So, but I don't know, this thing I'm gonna run for another little while. If there's anything new, I'll update you guys. But if it's the same, you know, nothing, whatever, then no. It's just too much. It's just too much. So Lindsay says, I still can't believe people so gullible. Girl, let me tell you, them people drink the Kool-Aid. Oldest scamming in the world, idiot them, and Carlene said them are pure idiots. I don't know how he was able to do that and to scam, but then he's got a degree in psychology. So him know how to manipulate people's head and people's mind and all of them something. So, you know, should be interesting to see what happens. So anyways, that's closing out on Mr. Kevin Smith. That's all I'm going to be saying about him today, tonight, and going forward. Unless something new comes up, then yeah, I'll touch it again. If not, I'm over Kevin. I am over Kevin. So I'm going to circle around to San Diego. And a TikTok star has been accused of fatally shooting his estranged wife and her lover in their San Diego apartment after bugging his daughter's iPad in an attempt to try and catch them together. So Ali Abulaban, 29, pleaded not guilty to the murders of his wife Anna Abulaban, age 28, and her friend Rayburn Cadenas Barron, age 29. A deputy district attorney alleged that Abulaban, I must say Ali, killed his wife because he thought she was cheating on him. Anna was in the process of ending the marriage following at least one incident of alleged domestic violence. She had asked them to leave their apartment she had asked him to leave their apartment on October 18th. Prosecutors alleged that he began stalking her And on October 21st, he installed a monitoring app on their 5-year-old daughter's iPad while trashing the home. Ali then returned to the high-rise and shot Barron 3 times at close range before putting a single bullet into his wife's head, according to prosecutors. A security video from a neighbor's apartment shows Ali leaving the home. Ali allegedly then went to pick up his daughter from school before calling police. He was arrested with a child in the car. Authorities allege that Ali confessed to his mother and police about the murders. He also allegedly told his daughter that he hurt mommy. Ali, whose TikTok handle is Jin Kid, has nearly 1 million followers and is famous on the platform for his comedy skits and celebrity impersonations. On the day Anna kicked him out, he managed to post a video that included their daughter, and on October 17th, the day before the alleged double murder, he uploaded a series of bathroom impressions. He also often posted on his YouTube channel, where he had 170,000 subscribers. Ali is being held without bail and has a preliminary hearing date scheduled for January 5th. Then him couldn't go find another girl. Him couldn't go. But I understand, man, or woman, because last week the one that we discussed was a police officer killing her girlfriend and the girlfriend's girlfriend. And this week, people just move on. It's not that deep. At age 29, it's not that deep. Even at age 80, it's not that deep. Move on. Okay, so we're going to do our COVID roundup, and I'm going to start with Jamaica because they've made some changes to their curfew and all of that. So their no movement Sunday is over. Curfew is now 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily until December 10th. They've changed the how many people can gather for weddings and funerals and all of that stuff. So funerals are still only able to be held Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. 20-person limit for funeral, 50-person limit for weddings and all of that stuff, 50-person limit for church. So churches can now open on Sundays again going forward and all of that stuff. And as we touched on church, it's surprising how not a lot of the Jamaican church leaders came out against Mr. Kevin Smith and what he did. There was probably just one pastor me here come out and say something, but the whole of the church member, them, the church pastor, them, the different churches around the island were very, very quiet. That's something interesting to note. Also, Jamaica received 40,000 doses of Pfizer vaccine yesterday. A second shipment will be arriving on the island shortly for a total of 100,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine. A lot of people are waiting on specific vaccines. So the Pfizer was one of the preferred vaccine for a lot of Jamaicans. So those who have gotten their first shot were waiting for their second. So now that the Pfizer is there, a lot more will get their second shot. We're going to go to Saskatchewan, and they've sent additional patients to Ontario. I think right now we've got about 9 to 12 patients that have been transferred from Saskatchewan, COVID patients. And there's still a few more patients to be transferred over. They're overrun with COVID patients in Saskatchewan. So they have to send them out to different provinces, and Ontario is one of the provinces that has agreed to take patients. When I listened to the Peel update and the Mississauga update on the COVID situation, right now in Peel, there's only one person in ICU with COVID. Apparently, I think there's about maybe 30 people in Peel. So in Brampton, there's only one person in ICU. with COVID, and I think there's about 30 people total in a hospital in Brampton. In Mississauga, the number was a little bit higher. I think in Mississauga it was about 10 or 15 people in ICU due to COVID, and probably about 50 or 60 in the hospitals. So the numbers are coming down for the region, but in Saskatchewan, the numbers are going up, and the health ministers have the provincial medical officers have actually sent a letter to the health minister asking him to propose gathering site limits as well as expand the proof of vaccine system to the schools. So that's in Saskatchewan. I know Manitoba has issues as well. Their numbers are going up. Alberta, their numbers are stabling, so it hasn't gone up as much as it used to. Doug Ford came out earlier this week and stated that, the mask mandate will end sometime next year. I think he said about March next year. We'll see what happens with that. In British Columbia, they're lifting some of their capacity limits, so things are getting better in British Columbia. On a federal level, the CERB payment ended last Saturday. Yes. So you have up to 6 months to collect for that period that ended last Saturday. It is being replaced with a Canadian Worker Lockdown Benefit Program, which will pay out $300 per week to workers who are under lockdown measures. So if your company has been locked down and you don't qualify for EI and you have to get government subsidy, that's what you would get, $300 a week under this program. So the COVID numbers for this week are as follows. So Canada, 171 million have been tested, 28,838 deaths, with an increase of 181 over last week's numbers. Worldwide, it's 245 million that have been tested. 4.96 million have died, with an increase of 40,000 over last week's numbers. So the death rates went up significantly. In Ontario, 598,000 have been tested, 9,862 have died, with an increase of 35 over last week's numbers. So in the last week, 35 people have died in Ontario from COVID. In Jamaica, 88,480 have been tested, 2,184 have died, with an increase of 55. So 55 people have died in Jamaica over the last week. There's also a video circulated about something that Andrew Olness said about how Jamaica will get rid of COVID is by basically himself, if a dirt, because people dying will help to get rid of COVID, because if people are dying and there's no more people for the virus to spread to, that's how thing. Historically, he's true, because you're either vaccinated, sick, or dying historically. So when you go back to the Spanish flu and other viruses, that's how things develop. We're hoping that, that's not the case here. We're hoping that people will get vaccinated. I know in Mississauga, I think they're at 85 or 88%. Vaccinated. In Brampton, it's within the same range. Toronto, I think they're in their 80s as well. So they're working to get the numbers up. I think in Peel region overall, they're saying that there are 120,000 dosages from achieving a 90% vaccination rate. So kudos to those who have gotten vaccinated, and to those who haven't yet. Your choice, your decision, your consequences. All right, so that's the COVID update for this week. Back to regular news, and I'm going to go to Florida. I see some things have come in. Hi, Enid. How are you? Thanks for checking in. So we're going to go to Florida, and 2 Florida PE teachers are facing charges after shooting a man after entering his apartment accidentally. The bizarre shooting took place in the early hours of October 10th after 26-year-old Darius Tion Cohen and 26-year-old Akua Jamal Halbeck ended a night out on the town in Vero Beach. The men went to the preserves of Oslo apartments where Halbeck visited a woman he'd met earlier the night. After a few hours, Halbeck returned to his vehicle where Cohen was waiting. Cohen stated that he had to use the restroom, so Halbeck walked him back to the apartment building to go back inside the woman's home. However, the 2 men entered the wrong unit. While Cohen used the bathroom, Halbeck got into the bed he thought belonged to the woman. Instead, there was a man and his child laying there. After the man woke up and demanded to know why Halbeck and Cohen were in his house, Halbeck Cohen confessed that he had the wrong apartment, and then the man asked them to leave. As all 3 men walked outside, the resident still pressed the teachers about why they came to his apartment. Halbeck disappeared for a short time, and when he returned, he found Cohen and the resident fighting. He broke up the 2 before Cohen retrieved a handgun and shot the victim as he tried to run away. The victim ran to a neighbor's apartment to seek help. Cohen admitted that he shot the victim as he was trying to get away from him. He now faces attempted murder charges and is being held on a $750,000 bond. Halbeck was charged with possession of a controlled substance. He is free on a $15,000 bail. As of today's date, both men had, they're still on their job. They have not yet, I don't know. So how did they get into that person's apartment though? Like, did that person fall asleep, leaving his door open and they just walk in? Because it doesn't state how they got in. Like, it doesn't indicate that they broke into the apartment or whatever the situation is. And what causes the fight? So they not only went into his house, there was a fight and they shot the man. Suppose them they kill him. Like, them people are just quick for grab gun and so suppose them they kill him. So no, the one that did the shooting, all because you went into the wrong house, you're going to go to jail. Everything them are people, them just draw for gun. Crazy. Anyways, that's Florida. We're going to circle around to St. Louis, and a former St. Louis County officer has been found not guilty of involuntary manslaughter for the death of a 12-year-old girl who was hit by his patrol car in 2019. Officer Preston Marquardt was charged with involuntary manslaughter in the death of Akila Jackson, who was hit by the patrol car as she crossed the street. Prosecutors argued during a trial on Tuesday that Marquardt was driving nearly twice the 30-mile-per-hour speed limit and did not activate his siren or emergency lights while pursuing a vehicle without license plates. Judge Scott Milliken ruled Friday that Marquardt's vehicle accelerated a matter of seconds and a short distance before the girl was hit. Milliken said Marquardt was relying on his training when he decided not to activate the emergency sirens on light. He said the officer's actions that day did not constitute criminal negligence. The prosecuting attorney's office said that they're disappointed in the judge's verdict, and people putting them dead. Officer on a charge. That's going to be hard. That's going to be hard. That's hard. We're going to circle around to Georgia. So a video of a teen attempting to steal a BMW from a Texaco gas station in East Atlanta has gone viral. And the owner of the vehicle is speaking out about the incident. So the video was at the gas station. And he left the car running just to pop into the gas station to get something. And, he said based on where he's living and whatever, he's, trained to check for body language. And he saw how the teen was kind of walking towards his car. So by the time he was able to pick up his food and stuff, the teen attempted to steal the car. So what he did was pull his gun on the kid. And he pulled his gun on the person that was attempting to steal the car, not knowing that it was a kid. But what is that? That good brain prevails, or he didn't shoot the kid or anything of that nature. Instead, he went up on the kid with a gun. The teen surrendered to him. He said he had a conversation with the boy. The boy is telling him, don't kill him, call the police instead. But the man said he wasn't going to call the police. He said he saw himself in the boy because when he was younger and based on where he grew up, those are things that he would have done back in the day. So, he's going to be staying in touch with the boy. He had a conversation with the boy and tell him, that he needed to stop stealing. And if he needed to find a job or whatever, he would help him with all of that. The boy apologized, and they're going to see where that relationship going. So that's a good ending to that, where it could have been worse. He could have shot the boy. The boy could have ended up, dead for stealing a car or attempting to steal a car. So in that instance, cooler head prevail. Thankfully, one, the boy wasn't armed. Two, even though the driver of the car was armed, he was able to take control of the situation and, talk to the boy and all of that. So hopefully the boy will have learned his lessons from that, and, they'll have a good relationship going. So I'm going to go around to Australia. And it's Halloween, and that the stores put up their Halloween display. So an Australian mother is calling for a store to take down its display because her child is scared of it. She went to the store where she came across some spooky decorations that the store put together for the upcoming Halloween holiday. The woman allegedly believes the display was too terrifying, and she went to Facebook to talk about it. She said she was quite taken aback by the Halloween display with all the skulls and all the different stuff that was in there, and her young child was very upset and very scared. Some parents agreed with her in wanting the store to take it down, and a lot of people disagree with her on Well, what I am thinking, if your child is afraid of the decoration, just don't go back there with your child. Don't take your child back there. Are we that entitled that we think we should go into a store and say, oh, my child doesn't like that, take it down? Like, seriously, people? Don't go back to the store. Don't take your child there. Argument done. End of discussion. Move on. You're going to tell the people if you take down them display. You're right. Just don't take your child. Your child don't like something, don't take your child there. You don't like something, you don't go there. If it's harmful, that's a whole different story. But if it's a choice you have to make as opposed to how the store them do them display, don't go. Simple. But I'm going to go to China. And this one, Yeah, that story up me like. So a man was left with an enormous bill when his blind date brought 23 members of her family with her to test his generosity. However, her rather bizarre tactic well and truly backfired when her date, known as Mr. Lou, aged 29, did a runner. The rather ambitious Singleton was then left to foot the bill herself at a cool $3,100, and she was less than pleased. The couple's date took place at a restaurant in eastern China, in the eastern Chinese province of Zhejiang, and according to the newspaper, it had been Mr. Lou's mom who had set up the meeting after becoming concerned about his lack of dating life. Mothers, when your sons are not dating, leave them alone. So in a hope to impress his date, Mr. Lou had agreed to pay for the meal, not realizing that her entire extended family would be joining them. The woman then explained to local media that she had wanted to test her date's generosity before committing to a relationship. While Mr. Lou was happy to pay for a small portion of the meal, he insisted that the woman and her family should be paying for their share, which is completely understandable. Very, very understandable. So, needless to say, Mr. Lou didn't pay for the date. I'm assuming that the girl and her 23 members of her family were able to come up with money to pay the $3,100 bill. And it is safe to say that those two people will not be dating each other going forward. You can imagine? You know that would not be a Jamaican. Because them get upset if you even want to bring one friend. Never mind, you are show up with 23 members of your family. 23 members of your family. On a blind date. Because you want to test if the man is generous. All you had to do was order the most expensive thing on the menu and see whether them can afford it. But to bring your whole 23 members of your family. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that would not be a Jamaican. That would not be a Jamaican. Or even just a black man in general. Because, yeah, them not play that. Them not play that. Lindsay said the audacity of her. Can I tell you? They're not playing that at all. So we're going to go to Alaska. And this lady, Robin Pelsky, her remains were found in April 1984 in Horseshoe near Anchorage, Alaska. She was a teenager at the time of her death, and they weren't able to identify who she was. So they had to do extensive genealogy and DNA sampling, and she was identified as Colorado native Robin Pelsky, because she wasn't even from Alaska. She's from Colorado. So she had previously been known as Horseshoe Harriet after her remains were found in April 1984 beside Horseshoe Lake in Anchorage. Investigators believe that she was killed in 1983 by serial killer and bakery owner Robert Hanson, who was nicknamed by the media as the Butcher Baker. Hanson, who died in prison in 2014, was known to abduct his victims, drive or fly them to remote wilderness locations, and then make a sport out of hunting them. He was arrested in October 1983 and the following year pled guilty to the murder of 4 women whose bodies were found in Alaska between 1980 and 1983. He confessed to murdering a total of 17 women and showed investigators the locations of many of his victims, including Pelsky. However, they were not able to identify her, so her identity remained a mystery from 1984. In 2014, her body was exhumed and a DNA sample was taken and uploaded into the FBI's missing person data bank, but no matches were found. In August 2021, her DNA profile was uploaded into a public genetic genealogy database. Utilizing several close matches, the family tree for the victim was constructed, and that's how they were able to identify her. So that is some closure for her family, because if she's been missing for the family since 1983, I'm sure they've reconciled themselves to the fact that she might have possibly been dead all this time. But now they'll have the ability to bury her. If there are any members of her family still alive, they now have the ability to bury her and, put some finality on that. But to read that the man that was responsible for killing her is somebody who took hunting women as a sport. So I don't know if sometimes if you've watched movies or even ID, because I watch ID a lot, where they'll capture people, have them there, and then tell them to run. They're going to give them a head start. And then when they start running or whatever, then they just pick them off or they go hunting. There was actually a game show like that where people were let loose in wooded area and men on horses had the task of finding them. There was a show like that maybe mid 2000s. So that's what this particular man who killed her was doing. Sometimes you have to wonder about people's brain. Sometimes you really, really have to wonder about people's brain. Anyways, glad that they were able to identify her. Glad that her remains will be able to be returned to her family, and they'll have some closure. So over the last week, Alberta had the opportunity to vote to get rid of daylight saving time and just have Eastern Standard Time all through the year. So the people that vote against it, them like the change every fall and spring. They voted against implementing all year daylight time. They're saying that fewer than 3,000 votes separated the yes and the no camps. I don't like them people there. I want to get rid of daylight saving time so bad. Me just want one time. Me don't want a fair change twice a year. Me just want one something. Just give me one time, I'm good. The twice a year change, it don't make sense again. So there's no reason to do that. But I'm going to circle to New York, and I'm not quite sure how many of you have heard of Robert Durst, how many of you have followed his criminal cases over the years, but Robert Durst came from a very, 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 many varies, wealthy family. He was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole for the killing of Susan Berman on Thursday. So he's 78. He murdered Susan, and he had help in covering up her murder. He shot her in 2000. So imagine him kill her in 2000. And I just know the case. Him get convicted for the crime. Because one, the case went on forever and ever and ever. And two, it took a while for them to find out who killed her. So 21 years later, you know, he's sentenced for killing Susan Berman. And he is now going to be charged for the death of his wife, Kathy Durst, who vanished in 1982. Her body was never found. She was declared legally dead in 2017. So even though she was missing in 1982, Robert divorced her in 1990, citing abandonment, and her family had her declared legally dead in 2017. He has never been charged in her disappearance, despite, different investigations and all of that. There's been documentaries made about it. There's been different murder mystery shows about it. Nothing ever happened. So now they've decided that they're going to file a criminal complaint in Lewisboro, New York, accusing him of second-degree murder, and hopefully they'll be able to try him on that murder trial, and hopefully they'll be able to convict him. But as of right now, he has been convicted of second-degree murder for Susan Berman. He's age 78. He's gotten life in prison. So, him not coming out at all. Nothing for him. Hey, Rudolph, thanks for checking in. Hope you're feeling better. So I'm going to circle around to Houston. And the death of an 8-year-old boy whose skeletal remains were found alongside his 3 abandoned siblings in a Houston apartment was reportedly ruled a homicide on Tuesday, as his mother's boyfriend was charged with murder. The developments in the disturbing case came 2 days after police uncovered the horrible living situation that was reported to them by the dead boy's 15-year-old brother. The older brother reportedly told police that he and 2 other siblings, aged 10 and 7, lived with the remains for a year. Tuesday's charges, announced by Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, came shortly after Harris County Medical Examiner's office made the homicide ruling and said the boy suffered multiple blunt force injuries. The children's 35-year-old mother, Gloria Williams, was charged with injury to a child by omission and tampering with evidence. Her 31-year-old boyfriend, Brian Coulter, was charged with murder. Gonzalez said the 8-year-old was killed in 2020. The 3 surviving boy attended Alif ISD but had not been to school since May 2020. 2 truancy cases were brought against the mother, one in 2019, the other in 2020, but the Harris County District Attorney's Office did not enforce such violations during the pandemic. The children's mother and her boyfriend were questioned and then released. Chapman said she sensed something was amiss, but never imagined the reality of the children's living situation. The 3 remaining siblings have been placed in the custody of Child Protective Services. I don't even know where to go with this. I don't know where to go with this. So the mother and her boyfriend and the 3 remaining siblings lived in the same house with a dead child for over a year. For over a year they lived in the same house with a dead child. So the siblings, the remaining siblings, like how them overcome that? Like how do they overcome that? How do they get past that trauma of living with the dead body of your brother for over a year? Lindsay said that is so sickening. That is beyond sickening. Like, how do you live with somebody for so long? Like, as a mother, or you make man kill your pitney and you have to live with the pitney for over a year. Or you make man kill your pitney and your other three pitney them have to live with the pitney for over a year. Or you make man kill your pitney and you not call police. I don't understand that. That don't make sense. Don't make sense at all. We're going to circle to Jamaica, and the woman has been arrested and charged after she allegedly stabbed another during a visit to the Port Maria Hospital in St. Mary on Thursday. So charged with wounded with intent is 28-year-old Deborah Cole of Bailey's Vale in the parish. Police reports are that while Cole was visiting relative at the hospital, she got into an argument with another woman. During the spat, Cole allegedly used a knife to stab the other woman to the chest. The woman was seriously injured and admitted to the facility. Cole will appear before the Port Maria Parish Court on Thursday. Oh, Lord. So you go hospital to go visit family member and you go get in an argument, stab somebody. The only good thing is that you were already at the hospital, so the person you stabbed would have gotten immediate help. But what are these people thinking? Enid said sickhead people. Yeah, to the woman who make the man kill her pitney in Houston. Very crazy. Very, very crazy. Very crazy. So I'm going to go to Jamaica and touch on the Klansman trial, because that was put off. That's a trial of where they're what's that? There's 33 people on trial. Hold on here. I had a little mishap, so let me just get back something. Let me just get back something here. So let me just fix back this because the computer went down for a little bit and I have to fix something so that I can do the display. Just a second. Okay. Just a second. You know, our computer stays, so, you know, sometimes it works with you and sometimes it doesn't. So, back up and running. Back up and running. Yeah, so, as I said, I'm going to touch on the Klansman trial. I'm just going to give you a weekly update because this is a major trial that's happening in Jamaica right now. So they restarted on Monday after taking a recess because of COVID. Different members of the defendants, 6 of them catch COVID 1 week, and then the trial had put off for 2 weeks, and then another one, when it was supposed to come back last week, another one get COVID again. So they did put it off to this week. And so the trial started, and apparently the witness that they have on stand right now was requesting frequent breaks. So the judge has ordered a full medical report into the condition of the man to see why he might request so many breaks. So the trial was adjourned for a short while because of the apparent health challenge. So he's been on the stand since September 21st, but apparently many times throughout the trial, him keep complaining, say he's feeling unwell, so them have to take a break. He's asked for multiple bathroom breaks. Each time him have to take a bathroom break, them have to adjourn the trial. So the judge say him fed up with it. The judge say him fed up with it because the last time he request a break, the judge say, try wall it out and whatever. The man say he can't wall out because he might cramp up. So the judge wants to know if it's a recurring problem. He need to know the nature of the medical history. The witness say him can't sit so long all day and all of them something there. So, the judge had enough. The judge just had enough, and he wants to know if it's a medical issue so that they can know how to proceed and whatever. Now, another witness who they say is a self-confessed member of the One Down gang burst into a fit of laughter after he was questioned about the employment status of one of the defendants, who it appeared had told his lawyer that he had been working at the Railway Corporation of Jamaica. So apparently, this particular defendant or witness is supposed to have been working, and he told his lawyer that him have a job and him have a job with the railway company. However, it is only in court now that they're finding out that that particular job that he claims to have had is not a real job. That job that he had working for the railway company, Railway Corporation of Jamaica, is the corporation that was established to extort bus drivers at the bus park in St. Catharines. Yeah? So that's why when the lawyer asked him about the man's job and asked him if he was aware that he was gainfully employed, man bust out a laugh. The man said no. Lawyer asked again, the man said no. When the lawyer say, are you aware that he's working at this location? The man actually said that company you talk about is in the Spanish Town bus park. They use that company to collect extortion money. You can imagine? This should be a very, very interesting case. And it's going to be 33 people on trial is nothing to sneeze at in terms of how the prosecutors are going to do, how the defenders are going to do, managing the jury, managing the judge, and all of these other things. So that's going to be a long trial. It'll be an interesting trial. So we'll see what happens with that. But on a better note, staying in Jamaica, a memorandum of understanding was signed yesterday to establish a partnership agreement to establish the Butch Stewart International School of Hospitality and Tourism. That'll, be able to train the next set of Caribbean industry leaders and stuff. The MOU was signed by Adam Stewart, who is the executive chairman of Sandals Resort, and they did it at the AC Hotel in Kingston. They're doing it in partnering with the Chaplin School of Hospitality and Tourism Management of Florida International University. That's Adam's alma mater, as well as the Mona School of Business and Management of the University of the West Indies. So this is a big deal. This is a very, very big deal. So the school is going to be in Jamaica. It'll be opened to people around the world who wants to go and learn about hospitality and tourist management and all of that stuff. It'll be a course offered by UWI in conjunction with FIU. So this is a very, very, very big deal for Jamaica, for the Caribbean and a whole, for UWI, as well as for the partners, Sandals and the other partners in it. So this is a very, very big deal. Anyway, so that's the news for tonight. That's the news for tonight. I didn't get any topics this week. However, I did get an email. Oh, I did get an email. And I found the email very, very interesting. So I am going to ask you ladies. I'm going to put the topic up. And I'm going to ask you ladies, because I did get the email. And it says, "Dear Bernie, I've been dating this guy now for almost a year and he's never complimented me. It doesn't matter what I wear, even if I change my nails or my hair, clothing or whatever, he's never complimented me and it annoys me. How do I get him to start complimenting me, or should I tell him that this irritates me?" So drop your comments in the comment section of, one, if you would date a man that long if he has never complimented you. That's the first part. Two, if the man never complimented you, if you would tell him that he should, and if you would tell him how he should compliment you. So drop your comments in the comment section and let me see what your thoughts are on this. Before I put my thoughts and opinion on it. I must admit that I was a little surprised at the question, because I didn't know that there were still people around who didn't compliment people. I didn't think that there were still guys around who didn't compliment their woman when the woman put themselves together. So I was a little bit, but drop your comments in the comment section. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Because I was a little bit, taken aback, because I didn't think that was still a thing where men didn't compliment women. I didn't know that happened. And then I had to think about myself. If one, I would date a guy who didn't compliment me, or continue to date a guy that didn't compliment me, and how long I would stay with a guy that didn't compliment me, or whether I would tell him that, hey, occasionally you can say something. So. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. Y'all are typing slow. Let me know your thoughts. But as for me, I don't know. It was kind of odd. Carlene says, if you have to ask him to compliment you, then he's not your man. However, as long as you feel good about yourself, to hell with him. I agree with your second part. With, as long as you feel good about yourself, to hell with him. On the first part, I actually found out that there were men out there who didn't compliment women because it's not something they do and they don't know how. He needs to see him, so Carlene. So I found out that there were men who don't know how to compliment a woman. And I'm saying to myself, like, even if you get a different hair color, or even if you get a different haircut, you must can't say that look good or that not look good or something, but nothing, so. Lindsay said, compliments should be given where compliments are due. It's a matter of showing that you're paying attention. Shouldn't have to ask for compliments. It should be automatically given. And that's true. Like, you know, you're dating somebody, whether, and actually, you know what? It goes for both men and women. If you're dating somebody, even if I just your friend and them look good, you say, you know, yeah, go on tonight, you look good, your ear good, your nails good, whatever. Even if, whatever, you just say, you know, give a little compliment or whatever. But to have your man to not compliment you, okay, so you've gotten, yeah, because I see that you're on. So you've gotten the, Marcel says ditto. So you've gotten the, so the bottom line is, if you have to ask for a compliment, then I know you're a man, you have to find another one. Only a selfish person wouldn't give compliments. Selfish, bad mind, somebody who know, you know, who, I'm say bad mind in the fact that they don't want you to feel good about what you have on. Because some people really put on clothes for somebody say to them, say, you look good, in order for them to feel good in the clothes. And I know that don't make sense, but that's how some people are. They actually put on their clothes and they're not happy in the clothes until somebody say, you know, say, look good in that or whatever, and then they get that added confidence and say, okay, my clothes are mine. Marcel says, bye, Felicia. But yeah, so bottom line is, person that sent in the Lindsay say yes, bad mind, exactly. So bottom line is, if it's a situation like you said that they've never complimented you, I would tell you to tell them initially to say, hey, how is it that you've never, and you don't have to go about it in an accusatory manner. You can't actually say it in a joking way. If you say, oh, you never tell me say me look good in none of my clothes them yet, or oh, you never tell me say me hair look good on my nails. I see what he says to that. Now, depending on how that question is answered, then you can take it and say, you know, me like, you know, you can tell me sometime or whatever, or you might be able to guide him. If it's a person that, you know, maybe tell us say him never know say you want him to talk about your clothes, because at the end of the day, sometimes we are our own worst enemy. Because a man will do it to one woman, and that woman might not have appreciated it as much. And him seeing that it's not appreciated as much by that one woman takes that behavior over to another woman and say, you know, say, when me did that with a woman, I used to tell her something sometime or whatever, she never appreciated it or never like it, so me not go tell that woman, yeah, whatever. Like, that does happen. So ask them in a jokify way, say, oh, come you never compliment me. As a matter of fact, you didn't indicate whether you have ever complimented him. So if you never compliment him, you cannot ask him to compliment you. That's the first thing. If you've complimented him and he's never complimented you, then Joe can say, babes, oh, come, you know, me put on this and you never say one day you tell me look good at night or whatever. That is the first thing. Depending on his answer, if him say, well, me never know say something you that did want, whatever. Say, yeah, me like when whatever, you leave it at that. If him say no know how, guide him down the path of showing him how to compliment you. If him come back with an answer why you don't feel right in your skin about, me not gonna tell you if you left your man. But me not gonna tell you if you look deep within yourself and figure out if this is something that you can live with. So, but Carlene says some of them really don't know, but that should be evident from early in a relationship. You have to train them. Exactly. And Lindsay said, you are correct, and also ask in a non-judgmental way. I think that's the best way to approach it first, as a joke. Don't just go up to the man and say, look how me put on my dress, and you never one day compliment. No. Babes, how come you never tell me say me look good, or tell me say my hair color this, or my nails that, or whatever? And hear what I'm have to say, and then take it from there. Personally, I can't recall ever dating a guy who has not complimented me, whether my nails or my hair or something. A man must can find something by you and say, boy, that look good, you know. I don't understand the party. But, you know, take it slow and see what happens, and come back up, let me know so I can update the listeners and the viewers as to what happened. So that's that on the email of the week. And we're going to go now to our soul chatting of the week. And it says, lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. So lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. And with that, that's the end of the show. So this week, it being the last Thursday of the month, we are having a draw for the Delgado coffee, and it is a detoxing coffee. So when you use it, it will make you go poo, 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 poo. Liz, put up the phone and go on your bed. Liz, put down the phone and go to your bed. I mean, they're afraid of me. Lindsay said, sorry, but now there with no man who not on par with me, period. Lindsay said, hey, Liz, you're not asleep. Right? It's past Liz's bedtime. So she need to go to her bed. First of all, me not with no man that cannot compliment me at all. No. You have to be able to compliment me. I said what I said. You have to be able to compliment me. So that's that. But we're going to draw for the detox coffee. And I'm going to add that there and that there. Do that and see what it comes up with. Hey, Sharice. You know, I'm going to give you this one this time. Congratulations, Sharice. I'm going to go give you this one this time, okay? You're going to get this one this time. Congratulations. I think I know where you live, where I can drop off the coffee for you. Yes. Anyways, thanks, my peeps, for tuning in on another Thursday night. Good night to you. Thank you all. Enjoy the night. Have a good... Liz, it's not a setup. I showed you the giveaway tool and it does its thing. I have no control over that. All you had to do was commented, which you did. So you would have had an opportunity to win it as well. But, you know, next time. But I thank you all for dropping in. Thank you for spending your time with me. See you next week. Same time, same place. And have a safe week. Enjoy. Peace out. It is